Hello everyone and welcome to Module 4. In this module we're focusing on production and consumption. The important thing for you to keep in mind is that we will be switching from your ongoing project, the project you've been working on for the past 3 modules, to a case study. And you will select one of 5 case studies which you will use for Module 4, 5, 6, and 7. So just to tell you a little bit about the case studies, there's a coffee shop chain in Washington, D.C., a flat glass company in Romania, an international apparel company, a mining company, and an international hotel group. So there's quite a wide range of companies from different sectors to choose from. The sector or the company that you choose, the case study that you choose for the next 4 modules, you need to stick with the same case study for all 4 modules, so make sure you choose well now. The case study does not need to be related to your ongoing project or the industry you work in. So just have a look at those 5 case studies and see which one appeals to you the most, or the one where you think you'll be able to learn the most. So good luck with that. It's an interesting change of pace, and people often enjoy this looking at another company in this situation. Just a couple things about what we've seen the past week. There are still some people who are not actively participating in the forums. And while we don't want people to spend too much in the forums to the detriment of their ongoing project or reading the material content, it is good to participate at least a little bit, because that gives you an opportunity to reflect on what you've learned and to share your ideas with some of your fellow students. And particularly participation in the small group forum, it counts towards your final mark, so it's a real shame to lose those points by not participating. I also wanted to say something about marking, because we've had some feedback from some of the students who've been quite surprised and frustrated by their marks. On the average, marks for this and other Cambridge courses tend to be considerably lower than on other online courses, particularly those from American universities. This is a reflection of the marking culture or standard in the UK, and this is adhered to at the University of Cambridge. So just to be perfectly clear, 60 is a perfectly good and respectable mark. Anything above 75 is really considered to be quite impressive. So particularly people with an American background, for example, I grew up in the United States, and I remember being very surprised the first time I got a 70 and not understanding why the professor felt I should be happy about it. So just so you understand that 60 is perfectly acceptable, anything above that is good. So I just also wanted to reflect on some of the issues that we keep seeing in the ongoing project, which will hopefully help you to improve your marks if you're unhappy with your marks in future modules. So some of the common mistakes we see, I've mentioned previously in the online forum and also in the live discussion chats and in previous videos, but we still seem to see quite a few people who are not referring to and referencing the material in the module, and that should be done using the Harvard system. It's actually not that difficult, so I would urge you to go back to the orientation module if you're not sure about it and look this up to see if you're struggling with this. Just again, it's not that you do not have good ideas or that we don't want to hear your good ideas, but what we want to understand or what we want to see is how you've read and mastered the material in the module and applied it to your own situation. So that's one of the reasons why it's so important for you to reference in your ongoing projects. If you do not reference, it's very unlikely you will get a passing mark. So yeah, definitely make sure that you do incorporate that in subsequent submissions. We still also see quite a few people who are exceeding the word count considerably, and although editing things down to have it below the maximum word count can often be quite difficult, especially if you have a lot of enthusiasm and great ideas. But it's also a shame to have your submission marked down because you're not able to reduce the number of words. So as a last thing, make sure you do always check to see how many words are in your submission, and if it's exceeding the maximum word count to cut things down a bit. Keep in mind that the references, so the references you include, do not count against your word count, so you needn't worry about that. Just as something very practical for Module 2, there were quite a few people who came with very specific solutions, but they did not necessarily clearly explain or present the business case, which is what we were looking for the second question. So make sure again that you read the question clearly and make sure that you're answering the question that's stated and not something that you think may be similar, because the questions are worded in such a way that we're looking for specific kinds of answers, and and it's important that you adhere to that. Right, so those were actually the key points that I wanted to state for the video today. I wish you lots of luck with Module 4, and as you all know, or I assume most of you know, we will be having these live chat sessions, which you can join on Friday morning, 8 a.m. Cambridge time, and Friday afternoon, 4 p.m. on Cambridge time. So if you have an opportunity to join, it's an opportunity for you to ask specific questions to the tutors and get answers on anything you may be struggling with, which you find difficult to approach in the forums. So all the best of luck to you all, and looking forward to a successful outcome.